Hello everyone, welcome to Wing Papercrafting. My name is Angel Fitch. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you've all decided to join me today. And welcome to Template Tuesday. So we're going to do kind of the same thing we did last week. We're going to make a template and then we're going to make a card with it right away. So we're going to start with a card base that's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We're going to give this a nice burnish with our bone folder. We have a piece of basic white for the inside that's 4 by 5 1/4, and I've written our recipe or directions here on this. Next we've got a piece of, another piece of the same cardstock. This is 4 by 5 1/4, and I have run this through an embossing folder, so you could use any embossing folder that you like. We're going to use the same one when we go to make the card. And then we've got another piece of, again, the same cardstock. And this is 4 1/4 by 2 3/4, and I've cut this with a textured note die, but you could cut it with anything that's this size, or just cut a piece of paper to this size. You don't have to cut it with anything. Got a piece of basic white here that we're going to use for our focal point, and another little piece that we're going to use for our sentiment. So let's put this together real quick and then we can get our card made. So let's get this down on the insides. So we're just going to take this and center this up, kind of like this. I'm going to scoot this over to the left just a bit. Okay, there we go. Now, back on the outside, we're going to put our embossed piece down next. So that, again, is going to get centered up on here. So, just like that. And then this piece, we're going to center this in the middle again. So, we're just building layers here. So just like that. And then our circle we're going to put right here. And then our little piece for our sentiment we're going to put right down here at the bottom. And when we go to make our card, we're going to put a piece, another piece, a focal piece on here that you would need another piece of cardstock for. So that was pretty simple. So let's open that up and we will use that to make our card with now. So we are going to be working with some pretty in pink, I think it's called. Some kind of pretty pink. We're going to use pink. We're going to take our cardstock here at 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Give it a good burnish. Piece of basic white for the inside that's 4 by 5 1/4. Our piece of cardstock here that's 4 by 5 1/4, and I have run this through the Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder. And like I said, you could use any embossing folder that you had, or if you don't have any embossing folders, then just leave it like, you know, like it is. You can leave it plain. It doesn't have to be embossed. I just like that it gives it a little bit of texture here. So let's go ahead and get this piece down. So we're going to center that up here. Oops, come on. It doesn't want to slide around. Okay, so just like that. Okay, and then I've got our piece of cardstock that's 4 1/4 by 2 3/4 that I've cut using the textured note dies, and I used, let's see, which one did we use here? We used the third one from the largest, so the third one from the outside. Okay, so we've got that we have cut. So let's go ahead and get this down next. So I'm just going to put some glue on this. And again, we're going to center this up right in the middle. So I'm going to try to get even top, bottom, and left, right. Okay, there we go. And then next piece, basic white. Oops, I cut using the textured note dies, which you guys know I absolutely love. So we used, let's see, which one of these? This one right here. It has the little, kind of looks like dashes pattern around the outside. So there's that. We're going to put this down next. So let's see, I'm going to lay this flat. I think we're going to just do everything except maybe the sentiment. We'll pop the sentiment up. So we're going to put this right down here in the middle, just like that. And now we're to our pieces that we need to stamp on. And what we're going to put on the outside here is our leafy bit here that I cut using the Nature Symphony dies. So we've been really focused on using this leafy piece here. And I cut this from this paper pack called Painted Illusions. And this was a paper pack that was the product of the month back in January. So this has some really pretty springy colors to it. So I just picked the pink one out of here. So we're going to use that one. So that's pretty nice paper pack that I got for $5. Can't beat that. Okay, so let's do our stamping first, and then we'll put our little leafy piece down. So we're going to stamp in some strawberry slush. I wanted a pinky color that was a little darker than our cardstock there. On the outside in our little piece here, we're going to stamp thank you. And this is the thank you that came from the Nature Symphony stamp set. So let's just ink this up. And we're going to line this up right here. Let me see if I got that. Oops, right side up or upside down. Okay, I lost it right underneath my glass mat. Let me fish that out. Okay, so this is right side up, I think. I keep thinking I've got it upside down. Okay, so let's just get this down right in the middle here, hopefully. Ugh, bad. I had this the last time we did this too. I tried to use this stamp. I kept getting too far to the right. So I'm going to flip it over and we're going to try again. Let me see if I can get down here a little closer to it without getting my head in the way. And I'm going to try not to push very hard, because this is the one that the tinier the stamp, the more likely you are to distort it if you press too hard. So that looks pretty good. And then on the inside, we're going to do this same stamp that we used in our last paper pumpkin. The little things you do for me mean so much. So this again was an orphan stamp that's sitting on my desk that one day I will find its home. So we're just going to get this right here. And there we go. Okay, put our ink away. All right, let's get this on the inside. And then we'll finish up our front. All right, so we're going to center that up in here. Okay. Now, for this, I'm going to take our leafy bit here. Look at this pretty paper that's on the back. We could almost use that too. It's pretty cool looking as well. But I'm not. I'm going to use the side I picked out. So we're going to use this other side. So we're going to put glue on this. Trying to keep just a little bit on each leaf, about, 2/3 up from the bottom. We're trying not to get too far toward the top, because if it falls off the side here, we don't need that being all sticky. So we'll just kind of at the very ends. That looks pretty good. All right, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to flip this over, I'm going to lay this on here. Just like this. All right, let's finagle this around here so that it's There we go. That looks pretty good. Now we're going to take our piece here. We're just going to put that right there to kind of cover up the stem. So I'm going to take some mini dimensionals here, and we're just going to put a couple across here. Alright, so we'll do 3, and we'll get the backs off of these. Okay, if I can get that off my finger. There we go. Alright, so we're going to just put this right here. Perfect. Alright, for our bling, we are going to use these strawberry slush gems that we have here. Let's see, I think we'll use these darker pink ones. I think what we're going to do with these is I'm going to use 3 big ones. Oops. See if I can get these down where I want them. Kind of want them right in a row there. So we need one more right there. Okay, I'm just going to move this one up just a little bit so we can make our row even. There we go, just like that. Isn't that cute? Okay, so there's our very cute, girly thank you card. So we've got our template and our card. And that's all I have for today. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. And ring that bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. And I will see you all in a couple of days with another paper pumpkin alternative. So I hope you see you back then. Have a crafty evening. Bye.